Imagine spending 100 hours writing millions of lines of flawless computer code. You have anticipated every logical pathway, built a beautiful user interface, and created a masterpiece of digital architecture. But the absolute second you hand this software over to the end user, they completely ignore the interface, press the spacebar 50 times, and instantly crash your entire system. In the world of software engineering, we call this a catastrophic user input failure. But in the world of tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons, we call it Friday night. Welcome to another episode of History Glitch, where we usually analyze the catastrophic failures of steel bridges, aerospace programs, and corporate algorithms. Today, we are looking at the ultimate failure of imagination architecture. We are dissecting the psychological glitch that causes millions of dungeon masters to completely burn out and crash their own games. We are going to explore the groundbreaking philosophy from the book The Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master by Michael E. Shea to prove that over-preparing a fantasy world is a fatal programming error, and how embracing agile, lazy development is the only way to save your simulation. To understand this massive glitch, you have to look at the traditional dungeon master as a highly stressed system administrator. Before a campaign even begins, this sysadmin attempts to physically hard code the entire universe. They spend weeks writing 50-page documents about the fictional political trade routes of a kingdom, rendering massive, sprawling maps of entire continents, and predetermining the exact dialogue of a villain the players will not meet for another 6 months. In computer science, this is known as memory bloat. You are forcing your brain to store massive amounts of useless background data that the system does not actually need to run the current application. The glitch triggers the exact moment the players enter the simulation. Players are not logical algorithms. They are pure agents of chaos. They are the unpredictable user input that the sysadmin failed to account for. You built a highly detailed 50-room dungeon filled with traps and lore, but the players decide they want to ignore the dungeon entirely, steal a boat, and become pirates. When this happens, the over-prepared dungeon master experiences a catastrophic system crash. Realizing that their 100 hours of hard-coded preparation is now completely useless, they panic. To save their fragile script, they commit the ultimate sin of game design, known as railroading. They forcefully restrict the player's choices, effectively locking the user interface and forcing them back into the pre-written dungeon. The illusion of a living, breathing open world instantly shatters. The simulation dies, and the dungeon master suffers a complete thermal exhaust failure known as DM burnout, abandoning the game entirely. So how do we patch this psychological software? The answer is agile development. The core directive of the Lazy Dungeon Master algorithm is terrifyingly simple: prepare less, prepare better, and build a system that relies on the processing power of the players rather than your own exhaustible memory. You must stop trying to render the entire universe and only render what is directly in front of the player's eyes. Just like modern video games use dynamic rendering to save graphics card memory, you only need to prepare the immediate next session. Nothing else exists until the players look at it. The absolute most powerful line of code in this new optimized system is the concept of quantum secrets and clues. In a traditional rigid system, a dungeon master will hard code a piece of information. They will decide that the secret map is hidden exactly inside the king's desk in the 3rd room of the castle. If the players never go to that room, the secret is permanently lost, and the game stalls in an infinite loop. A lazy dungeon master never hard codes a location. Instead, They compile a simple list of 10 abstract secrets before the game starts. The map exists in the quantum ether, compiling at runtime. If the players decide to interrogate a random captured bandit, the bandit suddenly has the map. If they search a dusty bookshelf in a completely different city, the map is inside a book. The secret dynamically renders itself wherever the players dynamically choose to look. This is an incredibly efficient variable that gives the players complete absolute agency while ensuring the story effortlessly moves forward without breaking the code. The lazy algorithm also completely revamps how you build non-player characters and monsters. Instead of writing a 20-page backstory for a random blacksmith, you treat them like an object-oriented programming template. You give them a name, a quirky voice, and one clear motivation. You let the players' interactions fill in the rest of the details in real time. If you need a unique, terrifying monster, you do not need to spend hours inventing new mechanical stats. You simply take the existing pre-tested code of a generic bear and apply a new texture pack describing it as a horrifying mutated space alien. The players will never see the underlying code. They will only experience the terrifying new texture. By deliberately stripping away the bloated, exhaustive preparation, the lazy dungeon master achieves something mathematically beautiful. They stop being a stressed, overworked computer, desperately trying to force a rigid program to run, and they become a fluid, reactive operating system. When you prepare less, you are no longer emotionally attached to a rigid script. When the players do something completely unexpected and break the game, you do not panic or crash. You smile because you have the agile, flexible tools to generate the world right under their feet as they run. The ultimate history glitch of tabletop role-playing games is the toxic illusion of total control. The philosophy of the lazy dungeon master proves that perfection in world building is not achieved when there is nothing left to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. By optimizing your preparation process, you finally free your mind to truly enjoy the chaotic, collaborative magic of the ultimate human simulation.